2021. I call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Carbonaro?
Present.
Daney?
Here.
Gansey? Here. Hopkins?
Here.
Ranke?
Present.
Sawansky? Here. President Wallace?
Here. We have requested Pastor Corey Shoemate from Christ Community Church do our invocation this evening. Thank you for being here, Pastor.
Good evening. My name is Corey, as Kevin said, and I work at Christ Community Church just next door in Streamwood, and it's, as always, a pleasure to be with you guys. Let's invite God into tonight's meeting and pray. God, we want to say thank you, first of all. Thank you for this space, and we thank you for the honor and privilege it is to advocate for the community in which we live. And just over a year into a pandemic, I am really grateful for the perseverance of the people in this room, the men and women who are advocating for the village of Bartlett. So God, thank you for them. We thank you for your loving care for us, for life itself, the mental health capacity that allows us to simply be here today and to fulfill our callings. Thank you for the provision that you grant us, for the camaraderie, the friendship that is in this room, the ability to be involved in work that we consider useful and productive, and the honor of bearing these weighty responsibilities. God, you've said that citizens should obey the governing authorities, since you've established those authorities to promote order and peace and justice. And so to that end, we pray tonight for Kevin, for Lorna, and for the trustees. We ask that you would extend grace as they lead, that you'd give them wisdom to govern the conflicting interests that we're experiencing today. Give them a sense of welfare, of the true needs of the people who are under their care. God, that you'd give them a sincere thirst for justice, a confidence in what is good and right, and the ability to work together in harmony, and even when there is honest disagreement, that there would be harmony in that, and for personal peace in their lives and joy in their task of leadership. And we also pray for the agenda tonight before them. God, give assurance of what would please you and would benefit those who live and work in and around the village of Bartlett. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brings us to our consent agenda this evening. All items listed on the agenda with an asterisk will be considered enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on items on the consent agenda. That being said, is anybody interested in removing anything from the consent? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent, which will include this evening the board and committee minutes from April 6, 2021, the bills list from April 20, 2021. The consent this evening will also include under Community Economic Development, item B1, under Finance and Golf, item C1, under Public Works, items F2, 3, and 4.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Sawansky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Ranke?
Yes.
Sawansky? Yes. Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey? Yes.
That motion carries. Next item we have this evening is our Treasurer's Report. Mr. Treasurer?
Thank you. Included in the packet is the Treasurer's Report for the month of February. Also included is the sales tax report. We received $199,411. That was up $12,900 from last year. So far year to date, we're down just $81,000 on the sales tax. MFT report, we received $112,605. That was down $15,575, or about 12% from last year. That's it for the Treasurer's Report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Next item we have is the President's Report. We have 3 proclamations this evening. The first is honoring one of our longtime employees of the Police Department, Gina Walsh. And I will read the proclamation. I believe Gina is here. Yes, and then we'll take a picture with you up here. A proclamation recognizing Police Officer Gina Walsh upon her retirement from the Village of Bartlett. Whereas Officer Gina Walsh joined the Bartlett Police Department as a community service officer in 1990 and became a sworn officer in 2001 when there was only one other female officer in the department. And whereas during her nearly 31 years with the department, Walsh, who is half Korean, has gladly witnessed an increased number of minorities joining law enforcement and is proud to be retiring from the department where women make up 22% of Bartlett's police force today. Whereas with Officer Walsh's retirement, the Bartlett Police Department is not only losing its strongest or longest serving member out of 80 sworn and civilian employees, but also someone who has consistently brought pride and distinction to the entire village. And whereas during her years of service, Gina has served in capacities such as court liaison, property control custodian, evidence technician, bike patrol officer, juvenile officer, elderly services officer, and an honor guard member. And whereas in her role throughout the years as a crossing guard trainer, Gina has been both directly and indirectly responsible for the safety and welfare of our community's youth by training dozens of crossing guards who have gone on to safely and successfully assist children in their daily journeys to and from school during the scholastic year. And whereas during part of her tenure, Walsh was the school resource officer at Eastview Middle School, where she helped establish a service over self program that taught students the value of volunteering and working together to make a difference in people's lives. And she also taught Project Alert at the middle school, which is designed to educate 7th and 8th graders how to make good decisions regarding bullying, alcohol, and drugs. And whereas Gina's steadfast commitment to these programs, her passion for serving as a mentor and role model for the students, and her unwavering belief in the importance of building positive police interactions with the community earned her DuPage County's 2017 Juvenile Officer of the Year Award and the Bartlett Police Department's Spirit of the Award in the same year. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, offer our many, many thanks to Bartlett Police Department's Gina Walsh for her 3+ decades of service. We are proud to have had you as a police officer in the Village of Bartlett, and we wish you a retirement filled with good health and much happiness. Congratulations. You have to come up here now.
Do you have a speech prepared? Do you want to say something?
I didn't plan on saying anything, but I just want to say thank you. It's been my honor to serve the community of Bartlett. I appreciate all your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gina. Next, we have this evening on Arbor Day Proclamation. As Gina goes and starts her party.
Everybody.
Arbor Day Proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our village increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are the source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane County, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 30, 2021 as Arbor Day in the Village of Bartlett, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations, stated this 20th day of April, 2021. Have requested that the Building and Zoning Safety Month proclamation be read by Trustee Ranke, who is our Building and Zoning Committee Chair.
Thank you. Whereas the Village of Bartlett is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and economic value of the homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens, both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of the building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas our nation benefits economically and technologically from using the international codes that are developed by national voluntary consensus codes and standards developing organization, our government is able to avoid the high cost of complexity of developing and maintaining these codes, which are the most widely adopted building safety and fire prevention codes in the world. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, energy-efficient, and livable buildings that are essential to America's prosperity. And whereas Prevent, Prepare, Protect, Building Codes Save, the theme for Building Safety Month 2021 encourages all Americans to raise awareness about the importance of safe and resilient construction, fire prevention, disaster mitigation, energy conservation, water safety, training the next generation, and new technologies in the construction industry. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, hereby proclaims the month of May 2021 as Building Safety Month in the Village of Bartlett.
Thank you, Trustee Ranke. Next item we have on our agenda this evening is questions or answers for staff. Does anyone have any questions, comments?
I have a comment I'd like to make.
That's unusual.
I know, isn't it? We're all shocked. But I found out that gentleman that's been around the village for a good number of years, worked very diligently with our village staff. His birthday's coming up, and Mr. Baras's birthday is the 30th of this month.
23rd.
What?
23rd.
Well, they told me that it was a 30th.
All right, I guess I have two.
Because I had it from a very good source. You're going to plant a tree on that thing, right?
That's where you're going.
All right, so happy birthday.
Yay.
By the way, he's celebrating his 39th birthday, and if you believe that, you're talking to an attorney.
Yes, I have something. Go ahead. I would like to thank the village for, Stephanie, I think we're on the same page here. Yes. For that wonderful vaccination clinic that we attended. You did a great job.
Yeah.
The coordination was unbelievable.
Outstanding.
I feel like everyone that was coming in that day was very happy. They mentioned how organized it was.
Oh, gosh, we got so many compliments on that.
Yes.
The organization and the flow 25 minutes, including the 15 minutes that you stayed afterwards to make sure you didn't have any reactions, in and out.
And Trustee Swansky stared at a computer screen for 8 hours or 10 hours. Trustee Gansey stood up in the waiting room for 8 hours or 10 hours.
She was on her feet.
Well, there was an impeccable playlist.
Quite a
That
bit.
was perfect.
I think one of the best comments, for those of you that haven't heard it yet, the chief told me that they were doing some exit interviews, and they were just asking, how did it go? Everything okay? One of the couples that came in, the wife said it was fantastic. I was in and out in like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and the husband said, I'm really, really upset. And so one of our service officers was like, really? Why? He said, when I went to get mine, it took me 3 hours.
Somewhere else, obviously.
It was some good feedback. It was an excellent event. So Scott, I think, was a big part of that. Thank you, Scott Skricky. That was an excellent, excellent job. And all the IT people that set up those computers, and especially, we really owe a huge thank you to the Park District as well. They basically vacated their entire premises for a day. And the police department, who did all the traffic and organizing. The whole event was just amazing display of intergovernmental coordination. And I think spearheaded by our one and only Scott Skricky, so well done. Good point.
I got one thing. Can we get an update on Naperville Road and how we're working with the county?
I sent a message to Brian Roberts, who's the Director of Transportation, this afternoon, and told him that I can't have another 2-week delay and I need a date. And so hopefully he will respond with an actual date instead of I need to talk to this committee or that committee before we can meet. So that's my hope is for a firm date now.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Moving on to town hall portion of the meeting. This is the chance for anyone that's in the audience here would like to step up and direct a comment or questions to the board, or anybody that's online. Is there anyone present here that would like to address the board at this time? Chris, do we have anyone online that's raising their hand or?
Yes, we do.
Like to?
Give me one moment to allow it. Yes, we do, and I'll put them on in momentarily.
Okay.
All right, W. Johnson.
Hi, my name is Wayne Johnson. I'm Bartlett Lion, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the Bartlett Lions. I'm the membership committee director for the Bartlett Lions, and I would just like to make a request to the village and to the community in general that as COVID has hit everyone in general, a lot of the Lions have transitioned to other roles in life. And so we as a community, as an organization, are asking for support for volunteers. And if the village can help promote volunteering in general, that'd be great, because I am also the membership director for the Bartlett Fest. And I'm sure we've lost a number of people over the last couple of years. So we're looking for people who would like to volunteer and serve the community, like the Bartlett Lions. We do a number of events. And so if I would just ask everyone to consider joining the Bartlett Lions or the Bartlett Fest committee, that would be great. The Bartlett Lions, we do charity golf outings, we do pancake breakfast as fundraisers, but we also serve the community with a lot of things like, National Night Out and a number of tasks we do, like the Bartlett Lions 4th of July parade. We man the whole parade as volunteers. So we try to do the best to serve the community. And I think that's the best way to add value is, with a lot of people staying home, a lot of people have their kids move on. I mean, they're going to college. And so there's a lot of people looking for things to do that are not not a distance problem, they're local. So I would just ask everyone to consider volunteering for an organization, if not the Lions or Bartlett Fest, Ladies Club or Mothers Club. But volunteering is very important for all of us to contribute to the village and the community.
Excellent, Wayne. I know you had that request last year too. We will do everything we can to push it out on our website and make it a point to try to drive some volunteerism.
Great. Thank you.
Wayne, do you mind giving the clerk your address just for the record?
My email address?
No, your address, your residence.
Oh, 244 Village Lane, Bartlett.
All right, thank you, Wayne.
Could we, maybe when we push any messaging out or get some more information from Wayne, kind of detail what the time commitment is? Because I know several people who would probably volunteer, but sometimes they're just unsure, like, is this something that's 8 hours a week or 2 hours a month?
Well, I can answer that really quick. It's what the volunteer wants to do. I don't push people. They've already figured out what they want to do when they want to volunteer, and I just help guide them.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Wayne.
You're welcome. Take care, folks. Have a great evening.
Yep.
Take care, Wayne.
Chris, is there anyone else on the queue?
Oh, there isn't, Mayor.
No?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to standing committee reports this evening. First standing committee report is Building and Zoning, Chairman Ranke.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing on building and zoning tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Ranke. Community and Economic Development Committee, Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. The one item was covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Gansey. Finance and Golf, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only item we had on the agenda was covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Daney. License and Ordinance, Chairman Hopkins.
There is nothing under license and ordinance tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Police and Health, Chairman Carbonaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing to report under Police and Health this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Carbonaro. Public Works, Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a resolution to approve a contract for semi-annual Bartlett brush collection. I move to approve Resolution 2021-36, a resolution approving of the contract for the semi-annual Bartlett brush collection agreement between the Village of Bartlett and TREASURE'S, Inc.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Swansky, seconded by Trustee Ranke. Is there any discussion?
The only question I had is, I think last time we asked about tracking or having some metrics, and I didn't see anything in here. What would we do?
Please, I can't.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I think at the previous meeting, we asked about getting some metrics or tracking how this is working, so we have information for next year. And I didn't see anything in here on how that would happen, if it's our responsibility or the vendor.
We're going to work with TREASURE'S if the contract gets approved to try to get that put together so that we can kind of keep track of how many houses they're picking up from, so we'll have a better idea of what is involved. So we'll work with them. Yep.
Great, thanks.
I noticed that this is a 5-year contract. Can any party exit out of this contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Open-ended.
60 days, 60 days, right?
Have to give
Best kind of contract. Good questions. Anything else?
Yes, I had a question. The contract is based on 10,642 single-family dwellings, $4.20 per semi-annual pickup. What happens if we don't have 10,642 families who leave anything out?
They're still charging.
We're still charging. Okay, so that's just the flat, whether we have more than that or less than that, that's the price.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll have to advertise this pretty
Yes.
well and make sure people are aware.
When's the first one?
Money's worth.
It'll be in June.
June, perfect.
So,
I know there was a
it
schedule,
gets
you all were
approved,
going to
we
work
would-
out a schedule, right?
Yeah.
right. So that's if this gets approved, then that's the big
Yep.
Yeah.
step next is to get the word out to everybody to make sure they understand. Put out, if you have a lot of brush to get rid of, get it out in June. So
Yeah.
And this goes on which bill?
this will be on their, this won't go on their bill at all.
They're going to see this. This will be property
village.
tax.
This is going to be property tax, okay.
Can we advertise on the water bill?
Yes, that would be a good,
Throw the date on there?
I think.
Timing wise.
Timing works out, we're hoping to get it with cleanup week so that people are kind of in the mode for something
Yeah.
maybe in June. And at the timing, right, we'll put it on the water.
Good points. Anything else? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Ranke?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
No.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Chairman Swansky. All other items in Public Works were on consent. Anybody have any new business for the good of the order?
Yes, sir.
Questions? Any other comments?
I just would like to say that I had to get a building permit, and now everything is online, and the system is I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. I think it's a great for residents to actually just log in online and get their building permit and schedule, you know, an inspection. I think the whole system, you know, is working. Hopefully it's working, you know, as it should. I know it did for me so far, so I'm excited about it, and hopefully this helps staff and reduces man hours, and so.
Very good. Fantastic. Fantastic. I guess just a small point. Me and 6 or 7 other mayors who represent a couple million different residents, Metro Mayor's Caucus, Southwest Mayor's Caucus, all the caucuses were on a press release or press conference today. So some of that might be out tomorrow. There's a lot of other information in the press today that probably overshadowed our LGDF press conference, but it's about our local distributing fund, which makes up about 18.5% of our budget. But a bunch of us were fighting for it on a press conference today, and there were dozens of different news organizations, Cranes, NPR, WGN, we're all on this press conference. And so if you see that, you'll know that we did participate in that and really fought to try to push the LGDF back up to 10%. So just to know. Anybody else? Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session. Wait. I gotta read this because otherwise I'll get in trouble by the chief. To discuss personnel pursuant to section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
I'm so moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gansey. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Carbonaro?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Ranky?
Yes. We are adjourned to executive session.